Welcome, Moon Magic Super Souls. Thank you so much for joining me for today's readings. And welcome to anyone new to our beautiful channel here. Now, today we are asking a very specific question. We're asking for guidance and advice for anyone who is navigating the results of some form of childhood difficulty or childhood trauma. And we're asking for advice and guidance as to how to actually navigate successfully through and beyond this in your adult life. This is a subject that has been raised by quite a few people in asking for a reading. It's come in slightly different ways, whether it's about anxiety or thinking patterns or difficult emotions, but the subject ultimately is the same. It's to do with childhood stuff that is getting in the way now. So that is what we are asking for advice and guidance for you. We're going to draw 3 cards and also 3 runes and 3 charms. I also just want to say very quickly, well, I say not so quickly, very quickly really, these books will help you. This is a book I wrote these years ago. I was an accredited counsellor, a psychotherapist for over 28 years. This book will help you to learn to listen to yourself in a way that if you have any blocks to connecting to your innermost feelings in a way that is healthy, this book will teach you how to overcome those issues, to listen to yourself and to understand empathy as a way of life. If you're very sensitive, it's often sensitive people who really struggle to move beyond childhood trauma because the impact is so huge. So this book will help you, and this book will then in turn, this was the follow-on book, this book will actually help you to understand your emotions, even the really difficult ones, as a source of empowerment, and it will help you to understand the relationship between specific emotions and specific thinking patterns that often take you sort of in those circular, spirally kind of things where we can spiral down inwards within ourselves, because certain emotions will trigger certain thinking patterns which then generate more of the same emotions. I wanted to voice that now rather than interrupt the readings, but these books will help you, and I will put the links in the information box below, or at least a link to my author page where you'll be able to find those books. Now, without further ado, let us connect in with your cards. How very interesting. Reading number 1, Angel of Determination. Reading number 2, Angel of Communication. And reading number 3, Angel of Positivity. Okay, so those are the beautiful cards we have to guide you in. Let's draw a charm and some runes as well. Okay, reading 1, you have the hand with a hole in the middle of it, a palm, but also lots of spirals. This little hand, I don't know if you can see that, is covered in spirals. We also then, in reading 2, have little Cupid's arrow. And reading 3, you have the turtle. Okay, so reading 1, you have the rune of initiation. Reading 2, you have the rune of movement. Reading 3, you have the rune of ice. Okay, Super Souls, I'm going to leave the video running for a few moments just to give you time to sit with the cards, the runes and the charms, and trust your intuition. If more than one is speaking to you, it may be that there is a message in more than one of the readings. I'll leave it running for a few moments, and the timestamps are in the description box, and I'm going to put them in the comments as well for phone users. thank you so much for joining me for these very special readings. I've chosen to do them during the Christmas and New Year period as well, very specifically as well, because sometimes it's really a challenging time for some people. A lot of buttons can be pressed around Christmas. It can be the most magical, wondrous time ever, but it can also present challenges as well. And as a community here, we are here to support everyone in whatever their circumstances. You know, this is a channel of love, respect and value. Super Souls, I will see you in the readings. Beautiful reading number 1, people. You have the Angel of Determination, which also happens to be the card number 9. And you have this charm, which is a hand with a hole in it, but it's full of spirals, and this rune of initiation. Now, something really interesting has happened with your reading here that I will voice in just a second. What I'm already experiencing, seeing, feeling, hearing in your cards, your rune, your charm already, I think that you have come a long way. 9 is a number that often represents a point of completion. I think with determination, I feel like you've had to rise again and again and again. I don't think you've just had one experience. I think as a consequence of trauma, difficulty in childhood, actually the consequences have led you into other circumstances through life where you've actually had to rise. You've had to step up again and again and again. And I also think you've come away on many occasions kind of almost empty-handed. With a determination, you've always stepped up again. You've stepped up to the mark regardless. But I think it has probably felt a bit like almost a relentless series of initiations. You know, when you get to the point where you just think, how many times do I have to kind of face up to this? Or how many times do I have to deal with the same sort of people? Or, you know, that kind of again and again and again. And yet you have risen to the challenge again and again and again. And what you've been doing is processing layer by layer stuff that has been built upon. What we're seeing in the background of this card, if I can show this to you, if you look at the stairway here that this figure is rising to, we can see skyscrapers here. This is layer upon layer upon layer upon layer. You've had to deal with layer upon layer upon layer upon layer, not just within yourself, but in many ways, things that probably genetically go back historically as well. It's almost as if I feel on a karmic level or a level of soul, wow, you've come here with an enormous task and you have really been walking that pathway. What I was about to say to you, which I will now voice, is I started tuning into your reading and I started to say exactly what I have just been saying, and all of a sudden in the background my washing machine took off into a spin. Now normally it's relatively quiet, but for some reason today it was so loud, it just felt so intrusive, and I actually got to the point where I just thought, I can't focus on your reading. I need to go and either put it on pause or check to see where it's at. And I found that really interesting. So I've come back and started again. When I went to check the washing machine, which was incredibly intrusive, I believe everything that happens, whether it's a nature, a bird, anything arriving in our readings, a knock on the door, it's telling us something. You've experienced a vast amount of intrusiveness in your world. That's part of the trauma for you. You've experienced intrusiveness to the point where you've had to walk quite a singular pathway. You keep yourself to yourself and constantly rise above and beyond the stuff that goes on around you, but it does and has taken its toll. What was fascinating, 9 is a number of completion, and we're seeing in this card you're reaching a point where you don't have to go any further. You're reaching the top of something, the final layer. That's what the rune of initiation is about as well. And the spirals on the hand here, the spirals indicate creativity, endless cycles of creativity. You're fixing endless cycles where you've come away empty-handed, but actually I believe this is coming to a close. When I went to look at my washing machine, I checked and it was literally coming to the very end of the cycle, and I actually thought this is just worth waiting a few moments and then coming back here and starting again. I put the video on pause and I just thought I'm going to reset and restart here, and as I said, the machine came to its end. It came to its completion, that cycle. So I feel there are important messages here for you, reading number 1, which are letting you know your determination is being honoured here. I'll put that heart there. Your determination is being honoured. The fact that you have had to rise again and again and again, I really do feel you have experienced a level of consistently difficult challenges in life that are more than many people could have handled. Okay, and I voice that with real respect and honour, and also real recognition of how that is. Now I'm going to draw a card to connect to your childhood here. Okay, right, yes, isolation. We have the card of Rapunzel. Yes, your circumstances did literally keep you in isolation. You've had to you were possibly actually isolated by the sort of people, divide and conquer is what comes to mind when people keep you hidden, keep you down, don't allow people to ever find you or see you, or keep you for themselves, keep you tied into stuff that's right for them but not right for you. I think you've always held hope. That's what sustained you. You're the kind of person who's very good at actually holding a dream. But I think you've also begun to question whether that dream will ever come true, because you've possibly entered circumstances, situations, connections with people, relationships, whereby you've entered with a good and open heart, but possibly had a bit of a blind side to certain behaviours, because I think you grew up in a world where what shouldn't be normal was normal. For want of, I mean, you know, I know we could say what is normal for any of us, but I do think there's something about, we sometimes grow up with almost if stuff isn't okay and that's the norm in our world, a tolerance, that's a better, even though it's not tolerable and we know it's not tolerable, we find ways of navigating living in circumstances that are not tolerable, because that's what you had to do. You had to manage circumstances that were not okay. They were not tolerable, they were not acceptable. But in the world you lived in, that was the structure of the world you lived in, and therefore what was, for some people, would be absolutely outrageous, and I think we all know it's outrageous, you've had to navigate the absolutely unacceptable in ways that has then stopped you sometimes, or made you have a bit of a blind side, because it makes it almost easier for you, let's say easier, but it's having a tolerance or of what isn't tolerable. It's basically led you, I mean, this is a general reading. If it was a personal reading, I'd be going into way more depth, but ultimately what this reading is about moving forwards. It's about validating where you are and moving forwards and moving beyond it. So rather than going into massive detail, hopefully I've said enough and you'll know if this reading is right for you. in the resonance. What we are seeing, and it's super great, what we are seeing unquestionably here, reading number 1, is that this is coming to an end. Number 9, completions. Even my washing machine getting in there and saying, hello, just to let you know, this is going to finish. So, you know, I just feel this is important to validate. And we've got this figure here who ultimately is the prince, the knight in shining armor, who's waving. Look at this. It's like, hello, you know, this is, we're going to end here. We're going to change things here. You don't have to do this anymore. But this is the longevity of the way in which this stuff has affected your world. Let's draw some more cards for you and see what else we are shown, because we're asking for guidance and advice. We have an affirmation here that says things are going to be moving forwards here. Forgiveness of others. I will voice something very specific. Well, in fact, I'll just read you what this says, because this is a tricky area. And this is really important. Forgiveness does not mean that something bad that happened to us was okay. Forgiveness means that we choose to move beyond the experience and to release any ongoing need for retribution. And there's purpose in this. In doing so, we no longer need to keep the memory of what happened alive within us. This choice reinstates our entitlement to be in charge of our own lives. So it's not about saying what happened was acceptable, far from it. But what this is saying is, let go of any need for retribution, because sometimes what keeps us going and gives us determination is almost that, what I would call, I'll show you stuff, which is really valid, because you're using emotions in a targeted way to move your own life forwards, but it can still keep the memory alive. And there's something really changing here. So forgiveness of others, synchronicity. Right, so stuff is coming into your world to really help you shift and move beyond this. Are seemingly random coincidences showing up in your life? This card asks you to listen to the signs and take them seriously. You are tuning into the universal energy of a greater collective consciousness. We're seeing that rising here. And these synchronicities are arriving in your world to guide you. Listen. Stand your ground. This card brings a clear message, whether in pragmatic action or in holding firm to your own principles and to your own opinions. Whatever your situation is, do not give way. This is not a time to back down. The time is right for you to hold your own and stand your ground. And then we have the card of Bless Your Past. Now this is a real tool. A useful tool to help us to let go of any emotional residue that is still clinging to us from a past experience is to bless your past. Whenever the memory of an event or person comes to mind, pause and say to yourself, I bless every aspect of my past and I celebrate the contribution that it gave me in becoming the person I am today. You guys have really developed the most extraordinary set of life skills. One of the challenges that I'm seeing in your reading number 1, is that in developing those life skills, that's amazing. You've had to rise again and again. But sometimes the very things that we put in place to help us to manage and move forwards end up being the very thing that then blocks us from receiving what we want. So for example, if you become very determined, really clear, really focused, you choose not to maybe connect strongly with people, you may find yourself leading, you don't share yourself with people because people haven't been trustworthy. And yet in not sharing yourself with people, it means that the good people never get to really know you. The good people never get to really know who you are, and they never get to help you in return, even though you give a lot to everyone else. These are the kinds of things that we're talking about here. So something is about to shift. It's like the pathway is opening for you, and The universe is beginning to really actively support a point of completion with a new beginning for you. So we're honouring where you've come from. We don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You want to keep all the life skills that you have developed and grown, but learn how to use them consciously. So you assess the rubbish people, because there are a ton of people in the world who are not great and very toxic and tangled in difficult stuff. You learn to say no, stand your ground, and you use your experiences to be your navigational tool, so that you know who you can allow in and who you don't want, and who you want to keep out. And each time a button is pressed, if you meet someone and you think, oh, rather than it being, oh, not again, it's like, my alert system has told me exactly what kind of energy you're resonating with, and that doesn't work for me. So I'm going to choose to bless my past and say, thank you so much for giving me these amazingly incredible life skills that allow me to identify exactly who isn't okay and who is. And I shall now navigate forwards with greater awareness. I can let in the good people, but keep out the bad. There's something going on here with walls around you here. That's what we're seeing, walls around you. Let's draw another card. Reading number 1. Protecting treasure, yes. And here we see the walls around you. This card is a very significant affirmation that your life light, your soul, the very core and the very essence of you is protected, has been protected. You have learned to protect yourself. It is time now to emerge and to be aware that you can navigate differently. Very strong messages coming through for you, reading number 1. It's time to recognize the treasure within that is you, to shift any aspect of perspectives that you were left with about yourself. I think you do actually know. I want to say, and I don't mean it in an ego way, I think you do actually know that you're amazing. Now, I don't mean in an ego way, and I'm not suggesting that you don't dive into self-doubt and self-criticism really, really easily because of where you've come from. But there is a humbleness in you that is absolutely amazing. And I think you have developed such strong inner values, real integrity, real honor. You're the kind of person, you know, if somebody was having a problem, you wouldn't walk past them in the street, you'd stop. These are your values. This is the essence of who you are, despite the stuff that you have met along the way and that came in childhood. You have actually risen to those challenges, and the very essence of you is really, really amazing. And I think you know that your values are really good, even if you wobble sometimes. I think you know that. And there is a sense of you, this rune of initiation, rising above and coming through and out the other side here. Let's draw some more cards, reading number 1. Let's draw from a tarot pack and ask, how is this moving forwards? Can we be given any more advice? Any more advice and guidance, please? Okay. Oh, this is great. 4 of Wands, loving it, loving it. Very interesting information coming through for you, reading number 1. Celebrate. The message coming through that I'm really picking up with this card is about celebrating your values, celebrating the person you've become, sort of because of where you've come from. And it holds a real key here for you. I do apologise if you heard that. My tummy is rumbling. I do apologise. I hope that doesn't come in too much, but it makes me feel like you're hungry for change. I do listen to everything in the readings. Four of Wands, celebrate who you are. Yeah, this is behind you. You've literally walked on eggshells. You've walked on a precipice at times around the people. You learned to walk on eggshells. It was like walking that precipice, always on the edge. Always right on the edge of feeling like you could fall at any moment. But that's ending. Okay, that is behind you. Yeah, Nine of Chalices. Beautiful. Nine of Cups. This is a card of genuine love, wonderfulness, coming from the heart, heart-centered energy. Okay, now this is very interesting. We have the card of the Hermit with someone crossing the bridge, initiation. We have the Sun. Look at the energy pouring in. We have the Magician. I am loving your reading. Five of Chalices and the Six of Wands moving forwards. Beautiful, beautiful. Where should we put this? Just here. Reading number 1. Celebrate yourself. The advice, guidance you're being given is very, very simple and actually very precise. Firstly, it's acknowledging, this reading is really acknowledging where you've come from. You have incredible life skills. It's time to use those life skills in support of you moving forwards rather than you managing where you've come from. And there's a very distinct shift. Celebrate who you are, literally on a daily basis. You know, put post-its, affirmations everywhere, you know, celebrating that you are the amazing you that you are. You don't have to be fearful of standing your ground anymore. You're going to find that the communication skills, I think, that are, I do apologise, my belly going. You're going to find that you're developing ways of, you're actually being given ways of sort of handling things differently. Okay, because you've developed all these life skills. It's time to let go, literally to let go of some stuff that would previously have taken you back into stuff. So for example, when you celebrate who you are, it becomes like a shield of resilience. Every day you get up and you say, do you know what? You know, I did this. I've come through all these things. Actually, I'm amazing and I deserve this. There's a sense of solidness, of arrival. Just as there's a completion, there's an arrival. You can apply the determination to not, I'm going to get through this, to, do you know what? I can have whatever I want because I damn well deserve it. It's a different shift in the energy. It's like applying determination differently. The universe is actually showing stuff to you, bringing things into your world very specifically to help to firm you up in this new process of initiation where every skill you have is now coming to support you. You're going to cross that bridge, okay? This is the point of crossing where you can firmly know that you've developed all the life skills you need to not to have to ever repeat a pattern, or to not ever not see the kind of person that you're talking to or dealing with, so you can make clear decisions. This is a reading of massive shift and empowerment. It really is. You can see things for what they are and choose what you keep and what you let go of in your world. With the Sun and the Magician, do you know, I almost said the Musician. But I think this is relevant because I think you're about to sing a different song. Celebration is key. The more you celebrate, the more stuff is going to show up that resonates with everything that you are. Success. Energy of the Sun pouring in here. Magic happening. So you can become the creator of the life you want. This is the shift here, reading number 1, because previously your energy, I hope I'm being clear with this, previously your energy has been involved in managing circumstances, where you've come from and ongoing residues of things. Now that those life skills, that awareness is consolidated in you sufficiently, it's kind of like you're at the top of your game now in terms of your awareness of these kinds of things. So they will no longer hold you back. If you come into contact with somebody or a circumstance, it's just not going to be difficult for you. You won't be thrown by it anymore. It'll be a really clear cut. Do you know what? That's not for me. Send you love and walk away kind of stuff. You're crossing that bridge. You're also crossing the bridge from a place where you have dreamed of not being alone, isolated, to a place where stuff is just pouring in. The Sun is really interesting here because I feel like this is just like energy, abundance, health, wealth, vitality. All of these dreams that somehow previously you couldn't quite access because you were always struggling to overcome the next hurdle. There's a really big shift here, and the shift is occurring because you are now able to look forwards. You can let go. Whenever anything pops up into your head, you can let it go, and it creates a pathway forwards for you. I want to draw a couple more cards for you, and I also I'm going to draw an affirmation card as well to conclude your reading number 1. Yeah, 5 of Swords. Okay, there is your lovely card. Let's see what we have. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful cards. You have the 5 of Swords. It's this constant headache, this constant worry. You know, will it ever happen? The wheel is turning and you're being guided. I love this this card, this particular 6 of Swords. I always feel, even though there is a residue of sadness about the past, things that haven't worked out, you are being literally pulled away from this. Pulled from one time and almost like one time space continuum to another one. Crows fly between the worlds. Literally that transition. It's, I want to say enough is enough. I even feel like your spirit team are saying to you, enough is enough. We're standing our ground alongside you now. Bless your past, move along. You are a treasure. You are amazing. It's time to celebrate who you are, shifting that energy and moving forwards. You're absolutely being supported in this key new phase of life to know exactly what to let go of and what to, you know, when to sort of, yeah, what to let go of, what not to hold on to. I'm going to draw an affirmation card. I hope reading number 1, this is, I'm not being too jumbled in my language. Absolutely. The universe is filled with endless opportunities for me. This is your affirmation. It really, really completes your reading perfectly, reading number 1. I mean, look at the colours here in this card here as you move and walk upwards with this angel with open arms for you. They really are saying to you, look, this relentless dealing with the same sort of things again and again and again. Every time though you've dealt with another layer of awareness, you are now in a space of completion and new beginnings. The key skills that you have developed to manage difficulty can now be applied to create the new. And I will just go back to, you know, these books. I spoke about them right at the beginning. They will help you. You know, I wrote these very specifically. This is designed to sort of, you know, 20 minutes a day. So isn't that interesting? My little light to one side has just gone off. I feel like it's a point of completion. We're being told it's time to close the door to something. Put that back on and reopen it for a new chapter. Lots of completions, signals and signs coming in here. But yeah, this book will help you to understand how to listen to your emotions with purity, and this book will help you to navigate them if this is relevant or important to you. And I do have an entire free online library. Let me just very briefly voice some of the free resources that I do put into the world that may be of help for any of you. The A to Z of Emotional Health free online library. It's a resource full of audios, videos, all kinds of stuff. There's actually a page called Non-Defensive Communication. If you have trouble standing your ground, it's like a little mini course that will literally teach you how to actually navigate communications with people who are difficult, who might want to cross your boundaries. So there's so many resources there, meditations that will help you to release emotions and simultaneously help you to understand your emotions as a source of empowerment. The library is a completely free resource. Do access anything and everything that might be helpful. These Art of Manifestation Oracle cards, they should now, I'm thrilled to say, be arriving some in the US now as well. For a while we couldn't get any of these cards out there. They should be landing in the US very soon. So whenever you're checking in with this reading, if these cards are appealing to you, and I do give away a pack every month. I have a subscriber prize draw. I give away a free private reading and a pack of these cards too, and also one of my Moon Diaries and journals at the moment too. So if you would like to be in that prize draw, I have a subscriber email list. Subscribe. If you press the little bell icon, you should get every reading I ever post straight into your stream, and you should be able to then add yourself to that list. I'll just put all the relevant links to anything and everything in the information box below. My author page on Amazon will take you to all of the books that I have written that might be helpful to you. Reading number 1, I am sending you all the love in the world. I hope that this is giving you enough information to bring about this shift, but this really is such a validation of where you are, the turning point, and of using the very same management skills rather than just to manage, to move from that position of the connection to the past and using all those life skills to enhance building the life that you both want and that you deserve. The universe is filled with endless opportunities. For me, this is your affirmation. The wheel is turning. The universe is working with you. Synchronicity. You are being guided away from historical things to a space of celebration, which will enhance vibrationally everything that you begin to build and attract for yourself in the future. Reading number 1, I'm sending you all the love in the world. Welcome, beautiful reading number 2, people. We have the Angel of Communication, number 7 here. The Rune of Movement. This is the bettering of any situation. And we have Cupid's arrow. What I feel like we're being shown already in your reading number 2, is that the impact of childhood trauma and difficulty is showing up particularly within communications and within your relationships. That's the area that it's affecting the most. And we are asking for advice and guidance. So I'm guessing because we have the Rune of Movement, the bettering of any situation, and Cupid's arrow, that hopefully advice will be forthcoming for you as to how to adjust, work through this, because the emphasis here is relationship. Now, it could be intimacy. We have Cupid's arrow, intimacy, romance, but it's connection, it's relationship, it's communication where history is getting in the way. That's what we're being shown here particularly. Let's draw a card that connects to your childhood first of all. Seeing this card here. What do we have here? 10 of crystals. Okay. Right. Now this is a card of happy families. Okay. What I feel around this card for you, reading number 2. Now, it may be that there's some connection to family that was lost. It could be that some of you were adopted, or you've come into a family and or your life was disrupted by other people coming into your family or by a family member. I feel like something that was or ought to have been good wasn't. Maybe there just wasn't enough room for you to be heard. Maybe this was a family that were very practical and pragmatic and yet weren't connected emotionally to you. And, you know, we can feel incredibly isolated and, you know, however well cared for somebody might be. You know, it's like attending to the needs, the physical needs, food on the table, but actually a lack of love, a lack of connectedness, a lack of emotional understanding, a lack of empathy. I sort of feel almost as well that maybe there was an appearance of everything that looked good, and yet a very big disconnect from the people who should have been. Or in an ideal world, let's say. I mean, sometimes people do all the wrong things for the right reasons. Sometimes if people were lacking in physical stuff themselves, they work overtime to provide it for their own children, but at a massive price because they never actually spend time with their children, never get to know them. And I do feel there's a sort of a disconnect here between what was really needed for a healthy childhood versus what actually took place. Okay, let's place this card here. Let's draw some more cards for reading number 2. We're asking for advice and guidance about how to navigate the impact of childhood trauma and the outcome as well of that. Do you feel this card too? Interesting, a lot of cards coming through for you from this particular pack. So authenticity is your first card. Hold your head up high, walk tall and be your authentic self. This card asks you to shed the masks that you believed you were required to wear. Walk to the beat of your own drum and do not be afraid to shine. In doing so, you give others permission to do the same. Do you know, several kind of stories are coming to mind that feel appropriate to voice here in my own pathway as a counsellor and accredited psychotherapist for many, many years. And I think stories are a good way of helping us tune in. Now, I remember speaking actually with a colleague of mine when I first trained, which was a long time ago. And she described her childhood as an environment where she was obliged to be happy all of the time. It was a requirement. It was as if her family, and they weren't an unloving family, it wasn't that they didn't provide, there was no direct abuse as such, but there was a requirement to be what was required, what was needed, without any connection to who she was as an authentic human being. It simply wasn't okay not to be okay. when actually life is part of healthy growing up, is that we can have our feelings of being wonderfully happy but also wonderfully sad sometimes. So that's one story that is coming to mind. The second story that comes to mind, the second circumstance, which is also to do with people not being able to be who they are, is where through the generations an emotional trauma is acted out. So the example that comes to mind, I worked in an area, my private practice was in an area where there was a very, very big community of people whose people that I was working with, their grandparents had moved to the UK during the war under very, very traumatic circumstances. They had literally had to flee for their lives. Many had lost family members, children along the way, faced starvation. It very, very traumatic circumstances. And they had become then very focused on material things. I came across several grandchildren whose, when their grandparents passed away and they emptied the house, they found that what looked like a normal house on the outside, as it were, you go in, what looked like a nice tidy little house, they found that even upstairs in the bedrooms, instead of the cupboards and being full of clothes, you know, one cupboard would maybe have some clothes, and these all the cupboards, the drawers, were full of food. They were full of flour and tinned food. You know, the trauma of facing the starvation had never left these people, to the point where they had an enormous, every available household drawer was full of food for the potential of having to revisit that trauma again. And so somehow the focus and energy was not on the emotional needs. And also, when those children demonstrated what I would say were very normal, healthy needs, they couldn't relate to them. So if a child, I don't know, fell over and got upset, somehow that was not considered worthy of acknowledgement, because, you know, it wasn't as big or traumatic as the parent or the grandparents' actual real experiences. It was as if their experiences were so extreme that normal growing up experiences were not responded to in a healthy manner. They were dismissed as being irrelevant. You know, why are you upset because you can't, you know, have that? You know, we went through all of this kind of, and even if it wasn't voiced, it was there and present within their interactions. So it meant that somehow the people that I was working with had never been able to sort of discover their own authentic self, because they'd been living through the lens of somebody else's trauma, somebody else's difficulty. I hope I have explained that in a reasonable way. You know, this is obviously a reading, but it's really coming through here. Now, we then have new love. I am thrilled that this is here. Now, your first card, what I was really tuning into, Cupid's arrow, that somehow the difficulty of history has interfered with your ability to be able to connect within relationship, or to communicate fluently or freely, maybe even to feel like you can have a voice. But we have this here. The energy of new love is around you. Sometimes if we've been hurt within relationship, we retreat, afraid of being hurt again. This card brings a clear message and is an indication of your readiness to embrace love and begin a new relationship. It is safe to reach out. Now, if you are in an existing relationship and there are communication issues, it is safe to reach out, to seek counselling, even couples counselling perhaps. But also, if you have found yourself feeling as though you can't really talk to people, or you feel you won't be welcomed or accepted as your authentic self, it is time for this to change, to understand that this residue comes from the past. We have the card of gossip and drama. Okay. These cards are so fascinating for you, reading number 2. So this is around you. Now, gossip and drama. Talking behind people's backs is one of the greatest producers of negative energy, with the potential to affect not only individuals but entire communities. Make a choice not to involve yourself in this. This card also asks, if you are unable to find anything positive to say, then please consider saying nothing. And we have the card of Don't Wobble. Okay, I'm going to I'll read you what it says on the cards today. I don't always read them in detail, but it feels relevant today. Are you having a wobble? Whether a minor one or a major one, this is completely understandable. You are facing tough choices, but deep inside yourself, you know what you need to do. This card is here to validate your deeper knowing and the decisions that you are making. As you move forwards, your anxiety will ease and you will refine your balance. Now, I'm just going to place these down here for one moment. Reading number 2, communication within relationships. I feel that as you are coming into your own, finding your own authenticity, working through a process of, I would also say, owning your own thoughts and feelings, knowing that you are valid in your own right, not having to live through the lens of others, there may be some resistance around you. If you have fulfilled a role for somebody and you've worn that coat, because that's sort of what we do, it's a really natural thing. If you grow up in a world where, a bit like my colleague, you are required to be happy all of the time, it's quite a difficult coat to put down. It makes it very hard to say when you're not happy, and therefore to navigate a real relationship that's based on genuine love, where a partner can see you for who you are and love you and support you. Interestingly enough, when you start to navigate into a space of, it's like your own homecoming in a way, excuse me, actually, you will sometimes get a backlash from people who see you coming into your own and were quite happy and content with you wearing the coat of pleasing them. And again, insecurities can generate this kind of stuff as well. What I'm seeing is you moving over and above and away from a pattern that has kept you in a position unintentionally, almost of I want to say, I can't say victimhood, that's wrong, but it's like, it's the genuine lens of something that happened that was really, really difficult, where you couldn't be you. And also what I sometimes call the trauma of normality, where there is a requirement for you to be something, or you're living on high alert because you can't quite relax, nobody's relating to you. You might find you struggle with anxiety around being yourself. Owning your own feelings is really difficult. Now we are seeing a shift and an opportunity within some form of relationship here for you to shift this pattern. I feel as if there is a welcoming hand arriving here. We have allow yourself to receive. We have Bless Your Past, which is a lovely card. It came out in reading number 1 as well. Not surprising perhaps, given that we are, asking for advice and guidance about navigating away from the results of childhood difficulty and trauma. A useful tool to help us let go of any emotional residue that is still clinging to us from a past experience is to bless your past. Whenever the memory of an event or person comes to mind, pause and say to yourself, I bless every aspect of my past and I celebrate the contribution that it gave me in becoming the person that I am today. So it's honouring you, honouring the fact that sometimes, because somebody else hasn't resolved their own trauma and their own history, it meant that they were then actually relating to you through the lens of a historical trauma, which in turn puts a layer of stuff upon you that really isn't yours to carry. It really, really isn't. I think part of what we're seeing here is that for you guys, it's very difficult to allow yourself to receive. Okay, one of the greatest blocks in our ability to manifest our greatest desires is an inability to allow ourselves to receive. This card asks that you take some time to identify any inner beliefs, perceptions and attitudes that stop you from receiving, and one by one remove these resistances. I do feel, reading number 2, that you have come from a world where what is presented to the world was not actually the realness of the actual experience. However we place that, whether it's those sort of examples I've given, it will be unique to you. But somehow the reality has not been the same as what's presented, and it's made it incredibly difficult for you to enter relationships feeling as though there can be a mutuality of giving and receiving, where you can be accepted for who you are. Now we're seeing Cupid's arrow, we're seeing the angel of communication, we're seeing the rune of movement, the bettering of any situation, and something gathering momentum and new love. There is absolutely an opportunity here for you to be moving beyond something, but interestingly enough with help, okay, from someone. Partnership is around you. It is safe for you to reach out. This is a good time, a perfect time for you to be reaching out for support and for you to receive support. Super card, super card. Ride the wave. Now this is a card of success. It's a card of promise. It's a card of moving forwards. And look at the fact that we have 2 dolphins side by side, swimming in unity, in harmony. I always feel when you look at dolphins, the amazing footage that we can see in wildlife documentaries, not only are they highly intelligent, and of course they're all about communication. They communicate with each other through sonar, through voice, through sound. And when they swim, they move together in absolute harmony. There is someone, if they're not already in your world, they are about to be. There is someone who is in your world to help you to shift away from the drama of the past. That's really clear. And I think you may be having a wobble, wondering, can I really be loved and accepted as I am? Can I really have the happy family, the energy of this? Can I really have this? Don't wobble. Bless your past and allow yourself to receive. Remove any blocks. Everything in this reading is about somebody, a particular someone coming in to aid you and assist you. May we please have more information for reading number 2. I'm seeing this the energy of a particular card, and it's right in here. Right, let's see what we have. Reading number 2. Ooh. Okay. 6 of Wands, beautiful. We are moving forwards. We are moving ahead. Super nice. Super nice. Yes. Isn't it interesting? Both of these cards, in a very different way, came out in reading number 1, but it was very different. But if you're drawn to reading number 1, there may be some relevance in different ways for you. 5 of Chalices, 7 of Swords, the card of Justice, and the card of Strength. Oh, look at this. Look at this energy. Right. Right. Let me move this card along so we can see everything for you. Reading number 2. This is now making some sense, this card of gossip and drama. I did say that I felt if you are moving from something, there may be some resistance around in terms of somebody kind of quite liking you the way you were, liking the fact that you don't receive, liking the fact that you are a natural giver, liking the fact that you wear the coat of what they need rather than what you need. Somebody's coming into your world in a way that is going to really, really change that. You have support, you have guidance, you have unity, which is lovely. It gives you the opportunity with this additional support. You have the opportunity literally to sort of say no to people who have expectations of you that are unrealistic. Don't have a wobble over this. You know what to do. If you're in a relationship where somebody has got used to you getting it right for them, and you're really thinking, do you know, I need, this has got to change. It's time for you to stand up for yourself, to cut the cord that sort of says, I'll please everybody else. It's time for you to find sort of like, almost like the lioness within. You know, if you approach a lioness with cubs, she will obviously defend. But if you leave her alone and you offer her respect and you keep a safe distance, she won't come out and target you. She won't come chasing after you. She will only defend if you get really, really close and you become a threat. And what I'm seeing here is a shift in a particular pattern of defense. There may be some connections to reading number 1 for you. Now, I will just briefly draw back onto this book. In the chapter in this book about aggression, healthy aggression, I use the example of the lioness. It's why it comes to mind. This book really will teach you how to use your emotions as a source of empowerment, the negative ones that we look upon as being bad, negative, difficult. Because we're often brought up to feel like our feelings are bad. We have to be happy all the time. We have to keep everybody happy. And it means that we deny lots of emotions from within us. I sort of feel like you guys are the kind of people who almost put yourselves in a position where you probably don't have a voice because you're trying to get it right for everybody. And it's almost then there's a point at which you kind of explode. You know, when you accept something that you don't say something when you probably ought to, but you don't. And then it happens again and it happens again and it happens again, or somebody's very good at maneuvering you to get you to do what they want. And then you reach a point where you kind of bang your elbow on the table and you erupt. And it's not because that was such a catastrophic event. It's because you've squashed your natural healthy anger about things that weren't okay, frustrations, angers. You've squashed your voice for so many times, and then something comes along and you snap and out it pours. And then because it pours out in an inappropriate way, you then feel like anger is bad, and that you know, and you often maybe then block yourself back down. There's a sort of a cycle going on here in some way, and people see you then, they only see your anger in an inappropriate way. There's a real shift here because this is to do with authenticity, and also of you owning your passion, owning your right to make choices, owning your right to be receiving as well as giving. And someone is coming into your world, or a circumstance or a situation within some aspect of relationship that is absolutely primed to help you with this. You'll literally be able to say, no, I'm not doing conflict anymore. I love this card. You've got this sort of this figure here holding these 2 swords, which always reminds me of the 2 of Swords, the card of conflict. It's like, I'm not doing conflict. I'm not buying into that crap. Not doing that. You know, it's like, conflict be gone. I'll make my choices for myself. Thank you very much. You know, sending you love, but, you know, walking away, letting go of something here. A pattern where you've denied your right to be yourself. That is what's shifting here. It's very specifically connected to relationship. I think it possibly in terms of any emotions that you're particularly negotiating. I'd have said reading number 1 possibly was more connected to anxiety, if there was an underlying emotional element to it. I think with you guys it's to do with assertiveness and being able to understand your passion in a way that entitles you to have everything you actually really desire in terms of relationship, family. Choosing the family you want rather than the family you were born to, kind of almost, you know, walking away from this stuff, drawing the line, cutting cords. Let's draw a few more cards for you. This is a very significant point for you. Let's draw more cards for reading number 2. May we have more information about maybe where this is going or what's taking place or how to navigate this. Yes. Yes. I'm so totally on this yes page with you. Here we go. Lovely. Right, we have the Knight of Wands. Great stuff. We have the World. We have the 5 of Swords and the 5 of Cups. So 2 5s, absolutely a turning point. Now, really important information here. Knight of Wands, this is you coming into your own, doing the stuff you love, connecting with people who resonate with you, particularly connecting with people who resonate with you. The energy of the Knight is quite fast moving, really. Knight of Wands, we're moving forwards, we're finding our passion, we're finding what works for us, we're finding what resonates with us, we're going to meet with groups of people who we connect with, and we're seeing the world, a completion and a new beginning, something going a full circle where you, again, we've got this full circle, you're cutting a pattern here, you're choosing to say no. Stuff that used to give you a headache, literally. You know, the stuff that goes through your mind, the patterns of thinking that ultimately they're not even your own thoughts. They're the things that people told you about you that were never you. Projections from people. The coat that you were told you had to wear. Something wrong with you if you're not happy all the time. The stuff that repeats. You will, if you do choose to engage with this book, it will really help you with those patterns. Also, I do actually have an online library that's a completely free resource. I will tell you about that at the end of the reading, because there's a ton of stuff there that is there to help, and it is a completely free resource, so it's there to access for anyone. Now, 5 of Swords. Yeah, thinking patterns, the messages. I feel you guys really internalized a ton of messages in your head that were never yours to carry, but you've worn them as if they are you. It's like you've worn a coat that someone gave you, and it's time to take the coat off and put it down and go out and buy a coat or wear a coat with other people who wear the same colour as you in a simple way. We're seeing you drop stuff that doesn't work for you anymore. Saying no, cutting cords. What this reading is saying really clearly as well is that you may find that you experience some interesting emotions as, hence the don't wobble, as you navigate through. Let me try and say this in a clear way, and I hope I'm able to be clear enough for you, reading number 2. There's lots of therapy stuff coming into these readings, which is not surprising given the subject. But when we start to change, we often experience quite powerful emotions that are associated with change. So when we start to do something we love, it's really bizarre because we can start to feel both anxiety and also sadness. And those emotions, we can then, if we've been brought up in a world where any negative emotions were deemed bad, we can then interpret those emotions as, gosh, moving forwards, this can't be the right thing for me because I'm feeling sadness and anxiety. And if I was moving forwards and it was right for me, I'd be feeling lots of joy. Actually, when we move from doing something that wasn't okay to doing something that was, we naturally enter an emotional transition of like a grieving process. So we feel sad because some part of us is grieving for what we didn't have. So even though we're moving forwards and embracing everything that you might want in terms of the world you want to build for yourself, the bettering of any situation, simultaneously we often experience anxiety and sadness as we move through that shift. Don't wobble. It's a really natural thing. In my free online library, there are, I think it's the Psychology of Emotion pages. I have built the library over time and put it together many years ago as I was kind of coming away from my full-time counselling and psychotherapy practice and moving into more spiritual realms of working. In that library, though, I'm pretty certain it is the Psychology of Emotion section. There are two audios. One is called The Sadness of Moving Forwards and the other is called The Wobble of Change. Those audios will explain what these emotions are about, because one of the challenges is when we start to do something we want, we feel difficult emotions, we interpret them as, gosh, maybe the move I'm making isn't the right thing for me because I'm feeling bad, rather than recognizing these are healthy emotions that are processing the transitional period and validating and acknowledging what wasn't there when in a perfect world it would have been there. Okay, I hope that makes some sense. So these emotions are really important, they're really relevant and they're really valid. So, gosh, the temperature in this room has just suddenly dropped, which it does when people come in. There's a lot of family around you, reading number 2. A lot of family who experienced immense trauma. Every hair on my body is standing on end. You may be picking up on this yourselves. Every hair on my body, and so much sadness here. So many generations that experienced difficulty. There's a vast sadness that they weren't able to process things themselves. Hardly surprising, because we didn't have the emotional knowledge that we have now. We didn't understand PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, which meant that the trauma got passed from generation to generation. There is a huge amount of ancestral family generational support for you in this transition, and an absolute desire and a will. Do you know, I feel like I just cry. It's huge. Absolutely huge. And what you've been through because of it was huge as well. It's time to be you, beautiful. Reading number 2, it's time to allow yourself to live, to love fully, to receive, to rise, to shine. Cut the cords of the past. Take full ownership of every feeling you have, because if you can't feel all your emotions, you're not really fully alive. It's why so much of my work has connected to emotions rather than just thinking patterns, because if you can't sort the emotions out, the thinking patterns will never get put right either. They really do go hand in hand. Gosh, huge, 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 huge. The stuff that you are processing goes back to so many other people. And bless you, reading number 2, for the enormity of what you are personally processing. But I am seeing this heavenly, delightful shift. Cupid's arrow. Help coming to you through real live connections with real live people who resonate with you, who understand, who are walking the same pathway and choosing to say no to certain things that are either patterns repeating or people that don't resonate. Whatever that is for you. Reading number 2. I'm going to draw an affirmation card for you to conclude our reading. Look at this. This is so beautiful. And we have 2 people. I do not have to prove myself to anyone. Reading number 2, I love your reading. It is loaded with assertiveness and with the backup of generations of people who are supporting you 1000% from the other side. And that's really, really clear. Cannot tell you, I feel like I'm standing like in a cramped room, shoulder to shoulder. It happens to also be freezing in here now. It really does. I've literally got the shivers. I do not have to prove myself to anyone. Super Souls, you might want to take a screenshot of that. Let me just put that up here and hold it as still as I can for a moment. Yes, if there was ever an affirmation for you to walk around with, this is yours, reading number 2. I do not have to prove myself to anyone. Beautiful, reading number 2. I am sending you the biggest hug in the world. Do connect with my free library. I will put the link in the information box below. I'll put any relevant links in the description and in the comments for phone users. I do give away also a free private reading and a pack of the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards. These are my own cards. They are, I'm thankful to say, landing in the US. We've had difficulty getting them to the US, and so many people came forward to help with that, and into Canada too, hopefully, but they are landing in the States as I do this reading, I hope, and therefore you know, for those who've been after them but couldn't get them, we hope that we now have channels moving forwards in those directions. But I do give away a pack of these and a private reading, and also one of my Moon Diaries and journals at the moment for next year to help with manifesting with the moon. I will put all the relevant links. My author page on Amazon will connect you to all my books anyway. I'll put the links to the free stuff that I do. This is a subscriber offer. So if you'd like to be in my monthly prize draw, if you subscribe, press the little bell icon so you get every reading that I ever post coming into your stream if you would like to. And also add yourself to my subscriber email list. Again, links are in the description and the comments. Reading number 2. It's time for this to change. It's time for you to receive. It's time for you to cut the patterns of the past which have gone back through generations, literally generation after generation. And it's time to rise into your own authenticity and assertiveness too. Just, you know, it's a beautiful reading. You do not have to prove yourself to anyone. Sending you all the love in the world. Reading number 2, you are awesome. Welcome, reading number 3. You have the Angel of Positivity, you have the Turtle, and the Rune of Ice. This is really interesting because if we just had the Angel of Positivity and the Turtle, I mean, we're really seeing you emerging from something. We're seeing a whole new space of beginnings here. A rainbow, a beautiful world, accompanied by your angel. And yet we have the Rune of Ice, which is about blockages, something standing still, something's needing to melt in order to move forwards. This is very, very interesting, reading number 3. We are asking very specifically today for guidance and advice about childhood trauma and difficulty, and I feel like there is something blocking you from being able to have, it's like you're almost there, it's a bit like standing in a doorway and seeing exactly what you want through the window in that door. You can look out, you can see the world you want, and yet you can't quite have it, or you can't quite get there, or stepping over the threshold. There is something in the way, and my guess is that the something in the way is connected to your childhood, to some kind of trauma, to some kind of difficulty. It's like it's on freeze, really. Let's draw a card first of all to inquire about your childhood, really. Maybe we ask about what we need to see for reading number 3. And so we are shown something so clearly here. Yes. Now, This is the Tin Man from the, I was about to say The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, but it's not. It's from the Wizard of Oz. So the Tin Man and the lion and the I can't think, Dorothy and Toto, they're on the yellow brick road. The Tin Man is searching for a heart. Basically, that is what's, I do apologise, my belly keeps rumbling. It did this in reading number 1 as well, but it didn't in reading number 2, so I'm curious about that, but I shall not digress too much into that just yet. But I do apologise if it rumbles in the background. Yeah, we've got a heart coming here. What we're seeing is somebody bringing you a heart. I feel like it's time for the ice to melt. Something that caused you to close down. Something that numbed you in the past. Literally that feeling of being broken-hearted. Something causing you to feel numb, to feel empty, to feel... to make it difficult for you to feel that it's safe. That's what's really coming through, to make it feel that it's safe to be able to move into the world, have the life of your dreams. Almost as though life became a distant dream. I actually wonder whether some of you experienced things that caused you to have an out-of-body experience, which can happen in extreme trauma, really. A part of us effectively leaves the body because it's too challenging to remain. In native traditions, when we talk about soul loss and we do soul retrieval work, in psychotherapy we use the term, we talk about people fragmenting or having a breakdown, and in shamanic terms the same thing is described as a part of the soul departs. Actually, the part of the soul that departs is a healthy part. It's leaving so that it can be safe somewhere else. So when we have an out-of-body experience, it's self-preservation. I do feel you had to withdraw, and that caused you either out-of-bodily experiences, or it caused you to fundamentally shut down, to feel empty, to feel there's a sense of soul loss. Let's draw more cards to see what else we are shown for reading number 3, because this is a big deal to move beyond. We may do some energy shifting in this reading. And anyone new to me, on Patreon, I do a monthly tutorial for my Patreon people who support all of my work ongoing. Thank you so much, all of you. And January's tutorial, 2023, is actually all about using crystals and doing healing within readings. So it'll be a really interesting tutorial to do. I'm really looking forward to it. So, reading number 1, seeing this. And this card and that. Right, so we have dislike of others. Okay, I will potentially read this in just a moment, the details of the card. Right now I want to see what we have here. Lovely, this is already becoming clear. Dislike of others is your first card. We have leadership. We have take action now, the cycles of the moon, and collaborate. This is a very powerful series of cards. Now I will read, I don't always read the details on each of these cards, but I will read some of them today where it's feeling appropriate. Your first card. Sometimes we form strongly negative feelings towards others, but in truth it's not them that we dislike, but their words, actions and behaviour. This card asks you to try to detach from the experience of their behaviour, which is not easy, I'm going to say, and see them as a soul on their own unique pathway, attempting to manage their own challenging life lessons. Now, if you have been treated extremely badly by someone, to the point where you have significantly withdrawn, you've closed down or fragmented or whatever the outcome, had a breakdown. This is a big ask. Okay, I just have to say it. It's a big ask. But by shifting our perspective, it doesn't mean you accept what happened, but it does allow you to detach from the connection with them, the cord that ties you to certain people. Okay, you're also being shown here that you've made very different choices. Okay, leadership. We all lead by example, our words and our actions, presenting a role model to everyone that we come into contact with. This card asks you to take an ownership of your personal leadership qualities and to align your thoughts, words and actions with everything that you wish to see in the world. This is kind of like being the change that you wish to see. So we're being given some really interesting and very clear guidance and advice. Whatever took place for you guys, it was significantly not just challenging, but really quite traumatic. And it caused really some big stuff within you, within the structure of you, hence the rune of ice. It's the very structure of you, and we're seeing this kind of cavern here. Actually, I think that you have leadership qualities within you that, interestingly enough, because of your experiences, may mean that you actually become a leader in supporting and influencing others who may have experienced similar experiences or difficulties. We've got the card of collaborate. I think you have something to offer the world, actually. This card says sometimes we're called to develop our self-sufficiency, isolation, and this can be a valuable road to travel in the discovery of our unique and individual gifts. But this is not the same as trying to do everything yourself all of the time. This is not a time to go it alone. It is a time to unite and work with others. I think you actually have something valuable to share. I think you may be able to help people to illuminate aspects of their pathway or of their defendedness in ways that allow them to move beyond something. Now, the take action now is very clear. This is a clear and unequivocal message that action on your part is needed now. Manifestation is not simply a process of visioning in and dreaming about your desires. When an opportunity is offered to you, you must also take action. Pay attention to the signs and move forwards fearlessly. We'll come to this in a moment. Angel of positivity. I think an opportunity is around you where you can actually take charge of your life, where you can share something of your own experiences, however heartbreaking, in ways that allow you to lead and support others, to work with others, to illuminate those difficulties, and ultimately change how you live, but change actually the lives of others too. And yet a part of you is potentially either anxious or blocked or fearful of this. It may even be that it's an idea that you're mulling over at the moment and haven't yet taken action. Now, we are asking very specifically guidance and advice for anyone navigating the results of childhood difficulty and trauma. So, let's draw some more cards. Reading number 3. What are we shown here? See this card too. Okay. Rescue and spark. How interesting. How very, very interesting. Now, the card of rescue does acknowledge that you can be a bit of a rescuer. You know, sometimes we have to be careful and discerning about who we rescue, or we could be rescuing people who don't want to be rescued. They're sort of happy and sitting in their own drama, really, and that can sometimes happen. But interestingly, I actually feel very clearly in your reading that you do have the ability to genuinely bring relief and rescue to others, because the spark is actually bringing something to life, bringing something to light, illuminating something. And look at the way this card here is, let me place those there for a moment, is illuminated. It's like coming out of darkness into this ray of hope, this tunnel, coming out of the tunnel, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. I think there is an opportunity around you. If it's not around you yet, I think it will be. I think there's going to be an opportunity for you to actually come to the end, literally bring something to light, whatever that is, to bring something to light in a way that will illuminate the pathway for others. The story of Turtle, you know, in native traditions, the Turtle Island was, and is North America actually, but Turtle Island was the turtle offering her back as a landmass amidst the floods. So when people and animals were drowning, Turtle offered her back as a place to build a new land, a new place of community, of harmony, of life, a new life. So this is a space of new beginnings. It's time for the ice to melt. It's time for something to shift and change. We will do some healing and some energy shifting around the ice rune. Let's draw some more cards just to ask for a bit more information. What is this situation about? I'm seeing this card as well. Well, what do we have? I mean, this is just so unbelievable, really. Well, it's not unbelievable because here we are, and I don't know why I think that when we, I mean, we all know, I know some of you are amazingly gifted readers, and you know those moments when something just shows up and you think, wow, what an affirmation. We have Ace of Wands. Look at the way this is a new, clear direction. Illumination. Bringing something to light. Speaking about it. Stuff that people have questions about. Things that people wonder about, bringing something to light. We have Three of Chalices. This is connection, it's collaboration. It's the birthing of something new, sometimes the heralding of a new arrival. It's a celebration. But particularly celebration in collaboration with others. Ten of Pentacles, success, total success. For me, this is like the winning the lottery, happy families card. Oh, and you have the Ten of Chalices too. Wow. Right, this is absolutely stunning, your reading. I must just move these cards along a tiny bit so we have room for everything here for you. Reading number 3. Right. Wow, 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 and more wow, and even more wow. You have something to share and something to gift to the world. It's come from this experience. It's come from you learning how to put something behind you. You've developed something, or you're in the process of developing something. It could be even a course or a skill, or you may be embarking on a counselling course yourself. You could be becoming a coach or a tutor. You could be heading up a community group. You could be writing a book that will place you in a position of leadership, visibility. What's really interesting is that it is all about the light at the end of the tunnel. You could be doing a course on shamanic healing, soul retrieval. This is a point when you yourself, in spite of your history, you yourself can use your history as a source of illumination and awareness that supports others. And within that, you actually have an opportunity, even though this should never, never, never have happened, there's something because of it that you can now take forward, and you will become a leader, a world leader. For some of you, it is a world leader in developing something that is going to change things for other people. Collaboration. You're not going to bring this forth alone. It's connected to groups of people. Either creating workshops. Yeah, it could be workshops. It could be a formula that works. But whatever it is, it's something you share with others. And curiously enough, I don't feel like it's necessarily, it could be counselling and working on a one-on-one. It's about rescuing people. It's about helping people. It's giving them the vision that they need to be able to actually transform, to re-find their own aliveness, to re-find their own spark. Look at this balloon here, looking back, to use looking back at the past in a way that allows people to find solid ground again. This is a very vibrant reading, despite the fact that clearly you have been through major stuff. I mean, this isn't small stuff, this is major stuff here. Why the rune of ice? Why the rune of ice when everything is saying you're moving forwards? Ace of Wands. Take action now. Illumination. Why the rune of ice? I want to draw some more cards. Right, okay. Thank you. That's so helpful. Thank you so, so much. Two of Wands. Right. Three of Swords. Broken heart, broken heart. Eight of Wands. Very clearly, you're wistfully dreaming about how to manifest something. This card says it all. Let me just pick it up. This is a clear and unequivocal message that action on your part is needed now! Exclamation mark. Manifestation is not simply a process of visioning in and dreaming about your desires. When an opportunity is offered to you, you must also take action. Pay attention to the signs and move forward fearlessly. You'll see, you're going to be shown the way. Just as you will illuminate for others, the way will be illuminated for you. This is actually time to put a conflict behind you. Your heart was really broken. Literally broken-hearted. It's come through from right at the beginning here. You've known what it's like to literally kind of live in a mine shaft, to live in darkness, to feel that it's safer to be living in a hidden space than to come out into the world. I will voice an example. It's an analogy that I've used within my own counselling and psychotherapy work. I've worked as an accredited counsellor and psychotherapist for over 28 years. My calling now is to work and bring that knowledge and awareness into to connect with our spiritual pathways of working. But if you have experienced this level of stuff, the result is that there's a need to hide. The analogy I would use would be sort of like hiding in, let's say, a really dark, creepy, horrible, cobweb-filled cupboard under the stairs for safety. And, you know, you would never want to be in that place because it's not nice, it's dark, it's creepy, and maybe you're frightened of spiders. Something like that. That's the analogy I would use. But it doesn't feel safe to come out. You'd rather be in there than in a place where out in the world would be of danger. And that was part of the outcome of where you've come from. Whether you think of the soul retrieval, the fragmentation, or the retreat into yourself, being in a dark place was safer than being in a light place, because the fear of coming out would put you in a place where you could potentially experience more of the same. That's over. You are now an adult. That is over, and you are at a level of soul being invited to not only establish your own new beginning, which I think you've done a ton of work to do already, that's really clear. But what happens is it's like there's still, each time you move forwards to something, there's an anxiety about that. There's an anxiety about exposure because of what you've experienced, and yet ownership of what happened is in its own way part of what will enable you to help others. You don't necessarily have to voice it in such a personal way, but you have a knowledge and awareness of the outcome of it and can talk about that. For some of you, you may share your personal experiences in a more visible way. For others, it's more about sharing the learning and the way in which you navigated that and the way in which you can navigate beyond it. But either way, it's now time to take action rather than just sitting here wistfully thinking about how you'd like something to be. It's time to leave this behind. You are being guided and things are going to move forwards very quickly. There will be collaboration. There will be celebration. I do believe this is going to be quite lucrative for you, which is an irony, isn't it? That you go through so much major crap and somehow it becomes something that ultimately gives you something. But, you know, actually, why not? Because you deserve this, and actually this is going to help others in a way that will, you know, you deserve to be rewarded for what you take into the world. These cards are amazing. Absolutely amazing. Everything in your reading is actually saying it's time to take action, and it's time to put aside any self-doubt. I said we would do some energy healing and energy clearing, so actually that's exactly what we're going to do, and then we will finish your reading with an affirmation. So what I'm going to do, I will ask you for a moment. Now I have this Palo Santo here. This is Palo Santo is rather like, it has the same qualities as white sage. When you burn this, it changes the ions in the air. So it changes, I have a funny feeling that it's the positive ions in the air that are negative for us and the negative ions that are positive for us. It doesn't really matter. The point is it changes the energy. It shifts and changes the energy. Palo Santo literally translated means holy wood. These pieces of Palo Santo are sustainably sourced, I would add. Now, actually what we're going to do is change the energy around any aspect of self-doubt that you hold within you that might be stopping you from moving beyond thinking about something and actually taking it forwards. So I would ask you to, if I may, very politely, ask you, and with genuine humbleness in terms of where you've come from, I would ask you to sit with what this reading feels like to you now. Just sit and also listen to where within your body you may feel an emptiness, or as if there is something missing, or a space of tension. It may be heart-centered for you. Okay. Sit and just dwell for a moment, locate, listen, notice. We carry trauma in the body, and sometimes in soul retrieval, for the part of the soul that has left the building, so to speak, for that part of the soul to come back and be reunited, we need to create the right conditions. You know, the soul needs to know that you are now in charge, and my goodness me, you are leadership. This is no longer to be wistfully thought about. This is for you to embrace and reap the rewards of this level of soul work. So get centered, notice in your body where you feel that, and sit and lean into, breathe into and lean into that feeling or that emptiness, that bit of hurt, that bit of tension. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in the Palo Santo around this broken heart. Okay, you are a temple. Okay, you've previously felt isolated, stuck, as if you had to withdraw into, I think, what has been a very dark place. Okay, now it's time for you to, emerge and come onto dry land and build. We have the Rune of Ice. Okay, this is in its upright position. Okay, so we're now going to create a flow. We're going to place it here and we're going to put it in here. You are no longer stuck. It's time for you to move forwards. It's time for you to take action, to heal the broken heart, to become fully alive. I'm going to bring the turtle in here too, to build a new foundation, literally come on to dry land. Come out of the depths and move forwards. Now I'd like you to take in a deep breath. My own body was naturally responding to that, and to breathe it out. I would ask you to lean into this now. Breathe in and then breathe out. Sometimes when I'm doing this exercise, I lean forwards into something as I'm breathing in, and then I turn my head to the right, and then I swing my head to the left whilst breathing out, releasing, letting go of any trauma from the past, anything that is holding you back. So your body is now in movement. There are no more emotional blockages. Emotions are, if you think of emotions as energy in motion, your emotions are now free to flow and support you rather than to hold you back when they're connected to some aspect of trauma. Breathe in. Isn't that interesting? This has happened in more than one reading. My light has just gone out. It has a timer on it. I'm just going to turn it back on, but I think it's interesting that the light went out at that point and we've now turned it back on. So something comes to an end here. It's time to come out of this tunnel and enter the real world and be a leader in your field through your knowledge and awareness, however you choose to manifest that into the world in real terms. I need to voice reading number 3. It is a privilege to read for you. Now, I'm going to draw an affirmation card for you. Your card. The universe supports me in every way. Beautiful. The universe supports you in every way. That is your affirmation. You may want to maybe pause the video and take a screenshot of that. Certainly write it on a piece of paper, carry it with you. The universe supports me in every way. This is a time of shift. It's a turning point. What you have been through has been absolutely, it should never have happened. But it is now time to leave it behind in no uncertain terms, and to use those experiences, ironically enough, to collaborate and assist the pathways and the illumination of others, however you choose to take that forward. Reading number 3. Beautiful reading number 3. I would like to just connect with you and just let you know about my free online library, which is a completely free resource. It's full of psychological stuff, lots of emotional stuff. I will put the link in the description box. As a therapist, it's a library, a free online library of audios, videos, all kinds of things, conversations with people, a ton of stuff. It's there to support and help you. It's a free resource, as are all of my readings. I do also have a monthly prize draw here on YouTube, where I give away within our Moon Magic community a pack of these cards. They are now landing in the States literally as we speak. We had all sorts of problems getting them over there, and that sort of process was blocked for a while. They should be landing, so for those of you who've been asking, you should be able to access those again soon. The first very, very tiny shipment is landing. I do give away a pack of these and a free private reading. It's a subscriber offer. I have a subscriber email list. If you'd like to add yourself to that, once you're on it for good. And you know, my colleague draws a name out of the hat every month. I will put again the link to that in the description box and the comments for phone users for easy access. I'll just put links to anything and everything, including the books that I've spoken about as well, that really do assist with emotions. So does the library. There's a ton of stuff there. Emotional meditations. I mean, just a wealth of stuff that is there to help and assist you in navigating through and beyond any areas of challenge and difficulty that come from, you know, any kind of early experiences. So do please access any and all of those resources as you need them. For anyone supporting my work on Patreon people, you do really support that library. It costs a lot to maintain a big website. I intend for it to be a free resource forever. So Patreon people, thank you for supporting me. And if you're interested in connecting with me through Patreon, I do a monthly tutorial where we learn to work with the tarot cards, the oracle cards, the runes, and January's tutorial, as mentioned, is about using crystals in a healing capacity within your readings, and how to use crystals generally within your readings, but also in energy clearing too. So I will, much as we've used Palo Santo today, so Super Souls, do connect there as well if that is something that interests you. Reading number 3, I am humbled. It is an honor to read for you, and you are amazing. I hope this reading has been of help. Tons and tons and tons of love. I will make sure every possible link is in the information and the comments for you. Do check out anything and everything that might help you. And if you subscribe, don't forget to press the little bell icon so that you get every reading as soon as I post it. Tons and tons of love to you. It's a big respect, and it's a great honor to read for you. Reading number 3.